I would also like to use this occasion to talk again to the Ugandans about the battle against crime and terrorism. I had last talked about this on the 28th of October 2021. This is 4 weeks ago. Both crime and terrorism are motivated by parasitism. People who want power and wealth without democracy or working with your hands. Right from 1965, the precursors of the NRM, the student study groups, were mainly from the background of wealth creators, mainly crops producers and livestock rearers. Later on, we worked with fishermen and the artisans of Katwe. Although at that time we had not clearly refined our ideology and strategy, from the historic examples of the European countries such as France, which though united for a long time, had the weakness of having internal fiefdoms, such as Brittany, Burgundy, those were provinces of France, that imposed inter-province taxes, thus undermining the free flow of goods within France, and also of the peoples such as the Germans and the Italians, although one people who were still fragmented into many small kingdoms, like Germany was still divided into 39 kingdoms, and also Italy was divided into a number of kingdoms, such as Tuscany, the one in the south, Naples, and all that. So, by studying these examples, we came to know that fragmentation was weakness, while unity was strength. That is how countries like Spain, Portugal, England, and Russia had become more powerful than the Germans and the Italian peoples. We therefore started despising and even effectively walked out of the existing sectarian political parties of DP, UPC, and KY, Kabaka Yeka. There was also the good example of the 13 American former British colonies that had, in 1776, united under George Washington to form the nucleus of the by now powerful country of the United States of America. In those history studies, we noticed the role of the new social class in the Western countries, Europe and the USA, known as the middle class or the bourgeoisie, who, unlike the feudalists, understood and valued the importance of integration, of unity, because bigger markets were better for their growing businesses. This need for bigger markets by the respective business interests played decisive roles in the French Revolution of 1789. The bourgeoisie, the middle class, were the ones who were very much behind this, and the unification of Germany in 1870 to 71, mainly by the Prussian Junkers, Prussian large farmers. By the time of Idi Amin in 1971, our student movement had crystallized our four principles of patriotism, Pan-Africanism, socio-economic transformation, and democracy, and had become ardent supporters of Mwalimu Nyerere because he was the principal champion of these principles. Why patriotism? no sectarianism. Why Pan-Africanism and socio-economic transformation? It is on account of the prosperity of the African populations, i.e. patriotism and Pan-Africanism, by uniting the markets for wealth creators. And then for strategic security, the idea of the East African Federation, by having stronger armies and handling security and sovereignty problems together, unlike now when ADF is using Eastern Congo with impunity. And achieving all this by taking advantage of the oneness of the African peoples, i.e. the Bantus, the Bantu-speaking peoples of Africa, the Cushitic peoples of Africa, the Nilotic peoples of Africa, and the Afro-Asiatic people of Africa. These are the 4 groups of Africa. They're just 4 groups. We should create several powerful states, the type of India or China in Africa, to facilitate this attainment of that prosperity, strategic security, and undugu, fraternity of the African people. We should not build a Latin America in Africa, a center of weakness, but several United States or Chinas or Indias in Africa. That has been the ideology of the NRM from 1965, following Mwalimu Nyerere. Why democracy? It is because of the African people should always freely decide their destiny. On account of these beliefs, we were able to build a strong army with the massive support of the masses, which enabled us to achieve victory in 1986, and thereafter to bring unity and peace in Uganda. That is how the economy has been able to recover and expand from US dollars 1.5 billion to now $41 billion. The shortages of 1986, the Magendo, the Chibanda, the Kusamara etc. have been replaced with surpluses, the Chengela, Uganda, Omweru, Nyankwere, of everything: sugar, bananas, maize, milk, industrial products, etc. etc. The country is connected by tarmac road from corner to corner, and electricity is about to reach all the sub-counties. We had only 28,000 telephones in 1986. We now have 28 million as of July 2021. While we only had 2.5 million children in the school system, we now have 15 million. The population of Uganda was only 14 million in 1986. It is now 43 million. In spite of all these positive achievements, many of them are apparent right from 1986 or even from the Bush days, e.g. the discipline of the army. Some parasitic groups feared this success. These successes would render their groups irrelevant. Initially, they were working also with some foreigners. Hence, they launched wars. Lakwena, Kony, ADF, UPA, Foba, Itongwa, Kirimutu, etc. Between 1986 and 2007, these groups organized the rural insurgency, which involved hiding in forests or mountains, ambushing on roads, kidnapping people to be sex slaves or to fight for them, launching surprise attacks against the army, planting landmines given to them by the government of Sudan, etc., etc. By 2007, the Army had developed a multidimensional capacity that could not permit such groups to operate anywhere in the rural areas of Uganda or even in the neighboring countries if the governments of those countries allow us to operate there. This is what happened in South Sudan when they allowed us to go there. We went and chased coin from there. The government of Congo, when they allowed us to go to Garamba National Park, we chased coin from there. This multidimensional capacity included LDUs guarding villages against those that attack soft targets, wananchi, zonal forces that always stay in an area, e.g. a sub-county or a county, without ever leaving that area until the insurgency is defeated. Mobile forces to hunt for the terrorists in the forests. Air forces, communication intelligence operators to know what the enemy is saying and doing and where he is located, and road protection against road mines. These were all challenges in the rural areas which we had to deal with. And we developed that capacity by 2007. Therefore, the insurgents have no chance. Hence, peace in the rural areas since 2007 in all parts of Uganda. Recently, there was some cattle rustling again in Karamoja, but it is being solved because it is a rural area and things will be, the capacity is overwhelming. One of the groups, ADF, having been defeated in the rural areas, the Rwenzori Mountains, with very tough terrain, now resorted to urban terrorism. Between January and July 2001, the ADF exploded about a total of 30 explosives, killing a total of 147 people. This was in 2001. Although we were not well equipped in the towns, mainly using human intelligence, we defeated this urban terrorism campaign. There was some quiet. However, in 2012, the ADF started assassinating individuals. They assassinated 8 sheikhs by the names of Sheikh Abdul Karim Sentamu, Sheikh Abubakar Muhammad Chiwewa, Sheikh Ibrahim Chiria, this young man, I knew him very well, Sheikh Mustafa Bahiga, Sheikh Abubakar Madangu Yunus, Sheikh Rashid Wafula, Sheikh Dr. Muaya, very, very useful man of Mayugeyes, and Abdul Sentruka. They also assassinated Joan Kagezi, Major Kigundu, and some other people. And some other people, maybe not ADF, assassinated Kawesi, Deputy Inspector General Police, Chirumira, etc. There were also other criminal acts, like the killing of the women in Entebbe, in Zana, Nansana, and the killings by the Chidawarime group of people in Nabisojo on New Year's Day, the other year. Using human intelligence, we arrested some, and others, e.g. Chidawarime, were killed. However, the investigations were inconclusive and slow. That is when I made the broadcast the speech to Parliament on the 18th of June 2018, where I outlined 12 measures to be undertaken. This was after we had discussed in our National Security Council. Those measures have been partially implemented. The ADF controllers, being bankrupt, however, did not understand the importance of those measures, nor did they evaluate the cause of their defeat in the rural areas, in the rural insurgency in the Rwenzori Mountains. The UPDF that defeated them in 2007 is now much stronger, actually many times stronger than it was in 2007. Their attempts to kill General Katumba on the 1st of June 2021 landed them in a trap. We were able, using the modern technology, to identify some of them. Once you get some, it is a matter of time before you get all of them. Since the Katumba attack, the following ADF supporters have been killed by the security forces: Nsubuga Muhammad, Moses Kaliowa Muhammad, alias Mose, Matovu Adam, otherwise also called Manhaji, Ruama Hussein, also called Master by their groups, Serwa Rejuma, Muhammad Chirevu, otherwise Abbas Chirevu, the one who was killed a few days ago, Atindia Yassin, also called Senaburia Dan, Biarahanga Musa Bahemka, Turikimanya Joshua Matthias, Bagonza Joseph. These are 12 who have been killed here inside Uganda since the attempt of Katumba in June. A total of 106 have been arrested. I have heard some arguments about Sheikh Chirevu Muhammad, how he was a nice person, etc. I normally monitor closely these operations. There is no way the security operatives would have known about Chirevu Muhammad if he was not connected with the Katumba group, trying to assassinate him, which led to the group in Padere during the burial of General Lokech, linked with the bombers of Komamboga, linked with the bus bomb, and the two recent bombs. All these are linked. If the ADF had remained quiet and not attacked Katumba, you know, our security people are really lax. That's part of the problem. They are very lax. Most of the time, they are not. But when you provoke them, then they wake up. So that's what's happened. So those who have been hearing people about this person Chirevu, my immediate answer, my immediate reaction, as somebody who is following very closely, is that there is no way our otherwise lax security people would have heard of or known or followed somebody called Chirevu if he was not part of the network which attacked Katumba. And why did they, you see these stupid fellows in ADF, because they have been in Congo there, smuggling, doing things with impunity. They were really overestimating themselves. The reason they wanted to, first of all, they wanted to kill Katumba. We must kill Katumba because he is a big government person, so that we show that we are there. Although Jamil Mukuru was arrested, we want to show that we are there. That's what, and also some of them were saying that because Katumba, being Minister of Works, and he was going to work on the roads in Congo, which is their territory. How dare we? How dare anybody go to work on the roads in Congo? Congo is their territory. Tunonya Chikongo katono Katumba akola kungutu tunokumulaga. That was those idiots when they are there talking among themselves. So now, when it backfired on them, and we started getting them, then there was a Chom Zero which had happened. Chom Zero, a taboo. Because policemen are not supposed to be serious. This Olokechi man, that was the Musango of Olokechi, to be serious. Policemen of Uganda are normally not serious. Now, this Olokechi, who is very serious, nakulondola, follow you up. God has taken him away. Now we must also go and follow his dead body and blow it up. You can imagine how stupid these fellows are. Now they must go and blow up the mourners who had come to mourn Olokechi. That's how we go to them again, because of the other first breakthrough with Katumba, when they went to Padel to blow up Olokechi. The Olokechi funeral, because Olokechi had already died from something else. We got now. Some were actually arrested in the hotel in Padel. And then others ran to Kampala. And that's how. So, a total of 106 have been arrested. I have had some arguments about Sheikh Chirevu Muhammad, how he was a nice person, etc. I normally monitor closely these operations. There is no way the security operatives would have known about Chirevu Muhammad if he was not connected with the Katumba group, trying to assassinate Katumba, with the Padel group during the burial of General Olokechi, with the bombers of Komamboga, those who bombed the pig eaters, the bus bomb, and the two recent bombs. The bomb of CPS and that of IGG office were linked to the third one that was supposed to be exploded by Mose Musa Mudasiri Mugamba at Waise. On the same day, the plan was to have 3 bombs. One here at the CPS, one at the IGG office, and another one in Waise in the population in the evening by this Mudasiri boy. The bomber at CPS was Mansour, and one at the one of the IGG office was Wanjusi. Let the public be patient and wait for the court. You will hear the truth. Because now the public is engaged in the trial. Oh, Chirevu was innocent, this was what? I am a reader of intelligence briefs. Please wait for the court. That's why you, the public, you will be able to know. You now know, we now know a lot about these terrorists. Of course, some are not yet arrested, such as Obaida bin Bukenya. This is now the one who was coordinating the attacks on Katumba. Obaida bin Bukenya, the member of the Ngabi clan that has now become an Arab on account of his ideological sickness. You can imagine, Ngabi katafuse Mwarabu. Obaida bin Bukenya. He wants to be an Arab. He wants to be an Arab. How can Museveni of the Basita clan become a Jew or an Anglo-Saxon because he is a Christian? So Museveni now, I should now be a Jew now. You're a Jew. Sickness. These are sick people. Sheer sickness. My advice to all of them, these still hiding here in Kenya, Tanzania, Mozambique, Congo, or South Africa, to surrender and save themselves. Of course, they will be prosecuted, but if they do not come out, they will all die. In the meantime, the public should be vigilant. Until all of them are arrested, they will continue to pose a short-term danger if we are not vigilant. However, our infrastructure is already helping. You can now watch how our infrastructure captured the bombers on Tuesday. If the people have that, you now watch how our infrastructure captured the bombers on Tuesday. The investigators get a lot of information from that video. Those cameras can now see the wrongdoers. The scientists are telling me that we can add a capacity to those cameras that will enable them to smell anybody carrying explosives and make alarm so that we go for him. Because now we had not put that capacity on that's enough. Let's go on with the scientists are telling me, of course we have explosive sniffers even now. We have them. Gadgets that can sniff explosives. But they have been used on individual buildings. Before you enter office, before you do this in some places. But now I'm told that it can be mass applied, installed like on those cameras, and when somebody carrying explosives passes, the the cameras detected. You remember that we are also going to digitally equip all vehicles and all pikipikis a device which somebody cannot remove, so that and which will be able to tell us which vehicle was here and there at a particular time. That one is already being worked on. That project which Jim Mwezi is working on with some friends, where we put a digital monitor in each car and each pikipiki. Some people were fighting for contracts and so on. For us, we're not interested in contracts. We're interested in security. That group should move ahead so that we digitally monitor each pikipiki and each vehicle, and that monitor cannot be removed. If you try to remove it, we shall detect you. With the eyes, the nose, and the ears of the state, it will be impossible for the terrorists to operate in the towns of Uganda, just like they are now unable to operate in the rural areas of Uganda. In the meantime, use what is on the ground to be more vigilant. Apart from the cameras of the country, the government establishments should have their own in-house cameras to monitor suspicious movements around and act against them before doing damage. The police is already guiding people on how to expose those criminals. The issue, however, is to use intelligence to uproot these elements out of our society. And we now have the capacity to do so, both within the country and with neighbors also outside the country. Coming to the issue of suicide bombers, it reminds me of the tribal chauvinism in Europe, where the English used to talk of the Dutch courage, which meant artificial courage on account of alcohol. The English were insulting the Dutch, that they have courage which is only based on alcohol. Apparently the Dutch would give their soldiers alcohol so that they attack as if they don't fear, when in fact they are under the influence of alcohol. So the English called it Dutch courage, courage from alcohol. The NRA UPDF has been fighting for the last 50 years. We despise that type of courage inducement. We regard it as manipulation. We believe in and we use conscious courage, where we know the risks of fighting, but accept them, but also educate ourselves about the countermeasures against the risks. Those who use religion, going to Jannah, like I hear that's what they are telling these young chaps. Alcohol, drugs, like marijuana, witchcraft, like Rakwena, are essentially cowards trying to create bravery artificially through manipulation. We have fought and defeated them in Somalia. Because in Somalia, that's what they were manipulating the young children to come and attack us. And we defeated them. The Israeli army fought and defeated such groups in the Middle East. The American army and the Red Army defeated the Japanese kamikaze. The Japanese were using this manipulation where they get pilots to go with a plane and crash into a ship of the Americans, blow themselves up. The same type of suicide aircraft pilots. It is cowardice, desperation, actually criminal. At the right time, you'd be surprised when we tell you more about these crooks. But I will not say much now. At the right time, we shall expose the criminality of the actors that send these children to die for no good purpose. Going to Jannah is controlled by God. I don't think you can take yourself to Jannah. You must be admitted. Does God admit wrongdoers? Although I don't know what God is thinking, but I don't think he admits wrongdoers. He must be admitting people are doing. How can killing innocent people give you a ticket to heaven? I'm sure God admits people who are clean. Now, how he will admit you when you are killing innocent people is something I cannot understand. If suicide bombing enables people to go to heaven, why do the leaders of these groups, the warlords, not take lead by example? Because surely if you want to go to heaven, the first to go should be the leader, instead of sending young children. I was checking with our commanders in Somalia. When they were sending young children whom we were killing, the army would send them, we will kill them, send them, we will kill them. I asked the commanders, did some of the leaders come to go to heaven that way? None of them were there. The warlords, the ones who sent children, none of them has ever come to go to heaven. They just send children, give them alcohol, I hear. If suicide bombing enables people going to heaven, why do the leaders of these groups, the warlords, not take the lead by example? They do not want to go to heaven. The ADF has exposed itself to us. When we are ready, we are readier. They are sure to be defeated. The explosives they are using are partly improvised, such as the use of ammonium nitrate. These explosives have been analyzed. The ones at the CPS. What these people don't know is that we have capacity to do all this, even forensically, afterwards. They have checked the explosives at the CPS and the ones at the IGG office. But more importantly, the one which was recovered, not exploded, at Katoke, the one where we killed the fellow. It was total whole, and therefore, it was diffused, and we studied it. The explosives they were using, the ones over here, of CPS and IGG office, were mixed with petrol because of the vehicles which. And the pikipikis which exploded, which were hit. So there was a mixture of hydrocarbons with the nitrate, ammonium nitrate. But the one which was whole, which had not been exploded, we studied it more. It was mainly ammonium nitrate and also calcium ammonium nitrate. That's what some of the people are confusing as C4. C4 is a military grade explosive, only owned by the armies, not by these private people. But calcium ammonium nitrate, my people say, could appear like, but with a lower explosive capacity. The detonating code, which was recovered, seems to be imported from a manufacturer. But for the others, the ammonium nitrate is an ordinary fertilizer. It is so therefore we shall track the source of these explosives. Of course, for the fertilizers, the police should now tighten the people who sell fertilizers, ordinary fertilizers, to make sure that they check whom they are selling to. But the important thing is not to analyze the explosives, is not to take precautions against exploders. The important thing is to uproot anybody who has got that idea from our society. And that's what we are going to do. And that's why we are not going to listen to anybody who is talking of bail, because like this Kirevu, who was killed, had been given amnesty, I hear. Had been given amnesty in 2000 and something. This one who was killed. So we cannot go on recycling these parasites. Now for ADF, it's now a business, because they are in Eastern Congo, which has no government. They cut timber, they dig gold. These are the ones they are selling in order to get money to do bad things. So they may not even want that situation to end, because they are making money out of it. But we are discussing with the Congo government. We shall get them. And the presidents contacted me from all parts of Africa, and I was telling them the situation, and we are really going to solve this problem of ADF. So I want to assure Ugandans that you concentrate on wealth creation. Don't be frightened, because we defeated ADF when we did not have the capacity we have now. We have now much more capacity, and we are adding to the capacity.